plank body. Regular push-up. Now look, quick second off the ground. I rested for a second. Now I got to squeeze and push up. All right, we're going to learn the push-up. We're going to learn an amazing push-up where you're utilizing every single muscle in the body from the head all the way down to the toes. And in order to do this really well, you need to master the plank. If you haven't watched that module yet, please go back and watch it, because that's how we're going to start today. And as a quickie reminder, we're going to make sure that our fingers are spread nice and wide on the mat. We're going to do a tricep focused push-up. So we're going to keep our elbows really tight to the sides of our body as we descend. And P.S., this is pretty hard for some people if they haven't been training in this way. You know, traditional push-up, you're going to see people really wide, and we will go over that, I promise. For this one, I want you to focus on keeping it tight. Triceps are here. Also, make sure that the wrists are right underneath your shoulders. So let's do that now. Let's get into our plank. Okay, good. Feet are together, remember. Now, if that's absolutely not possible, it is okay to separate the feet. From here, I want you gripping the ground with those fingertips, squeezing the glutes, engaging the core, sucking it in, pressing through the palms of your hands, and then slowly descending. And look at how my elbows go straight back. Look at my back. Everything is straight. Nothing is sagging, nothing's drooping, and I'm right above the ground. I haven't touched the ground. Now from here, engage every muscle again, refirm, exhale, push up. Now let's coordinate the breathing. On our next repetition, we're going to inhale, hold, and then we're going to exhale to push up. Here we go. Inhale, holding, exhale. Very good. And then come down gently. And that is your tricep push-up. All right, let's talk about some common mistakes and some easy corrections that we can make to the push-up just so we can take it to the next level and we can have a super strong foundation. Number one, before we get started with that, people ask me, should I have my feet together or should I have them separate? I like to tell people to have their feet together, although both are okay. But the reason why I tell people to have their feet together is because when you have the feet together, you're squeezing in towards each other, you're squeezing the calves, you're squeezing the thighs, and everything just gets tighter and we get more muscle engagement. All right, so let's get started. Mistake number one, probably the most common mistake that I'm seeing. Okay, no. That almost hurt. Thank God that didn't actually hurt. It's a slumping of the back. People don't realize, and that's why I put plank in here, is so that you understand push-up is essentially a moving plank. So let's make that correction right here, right now, because that one really hurt. Like, it hurt me on the inside. So instead of here, we check ourselves and we suck our belly in like we always do in all of our movements. We squeeze our glutes like we do in all of our movements. You're seeing a pattern, aren't you? Good. And then I'm going to put my feet together because I like to coach it that way. And then we come down. Now look, what if people are like, hey, I can't go down all the way. I'm not there yet. That's fine. Let's see how far you can go. Let's say, in order to keep that plank body, you can come down to here and then all of a sudden this goes. Even though you're fighting and you're trying, it just happens. Then you can either practice here for now, but I also want you to include bent knee push-ups. Okay? Maybe you can't even go all the way down in a bent knee push-up. That's fine. Go as low as you can and continue working on it so that you can progress the depth in which you do that push-up. Because one day you will get your strict push-up, or if you already have it, you'll get it stronger. Good. Another thing I see people do is the opposite with their hips. They do this. Okay, no, that's not plank. Plank is here. We know that though. We know that. So that's our correction. It's easier because the person is going to rely on their upper body, but that kind of defeats the purpose. We want the shoulders and the hips to move as one unit. Here's the full depth, right there. So it's called piking your hips, or essentially making like a triangle. No, let's go back to that plank body. All right, next, watch this. You tell me what you see. Here we go. Did you see that? Did you see me drop my head? A lot of people don't even realize that they're doing that. So you could either have somebody watch you, or you could videotape yourself, or if you have a mirror, you can watch yourself. Sometimes just videotaping yourself is enough to correct the movement. What helped me in the beginning was I looked about 3 feet ahead of me on the ground. I fixated my gaze there, and I knew that my neck was in line with the rest of my spine, and I kept it there. I kept it there. If my gaze stays there, my neck stays straight. We want that. Good. Okay? Next. Those are getting hard. It's reminding me of breathing. Even if you have the most perfect breathing, it's still going to be challenging. But one way we can use the breath and have it on our side is if we do it like this. Start in our high plank, feet together or separate, your choice. Big breath in, core on. These two go together, so suck in the belly. Take a big breath in, hold it, exhale on the way up. Exhale on the hardest part of the position. Very, very good. All right. Another thing that I see people do when they're attempting a tricep-focused push-up is they have their perfect plank body, but when they start the descent, their elbows start to flare out. And I think it's because most folks are used to doing a wider push-up. And so when they do that wider push-up, it's okay if the elbows flare out. With the tricep-focused push-up, the entire point here is to keep the elbows gliding against the sides of the body. So let me just show you really quickly. I'll show you what I see. It's not bad. It's just that we want to really, get those triceps working. That's the whole point here. I see this. I see elbows going out. And it's like, okay, that is a push-up. But if I really want to work those triceps, I'm really going to focus on making the elbows go straight back. They literally glide against the sides of my body. And that's much better. So everything that I've been teaching you so far has been focused on the tricep-focused push-up. Now I want to go a little bit easier and modify to the bent knee push-up. This is where I started, and this is where many of you have started or are starting today. What that looks like is we get onto all fours like we did, and instead of, actually, go into high plank, and then from here, bring your knees down. That sets you up for exactly the right position you need to be in. From here, take your feet off the ground. Now your hands are already in position right underneath your shoulders, and now we're going to try for our tricep push-up. Slowly, inhale, hold. Exhale. Now, on that one, I didn't squeeze my glutes. I'm going to do that now. Good. One other thing is I notice people like to cross at the ankles. Don't do that. It just throws off the symmetry of the body. We want to train it in a certain way so that it performs as symmetrically as possible. So uncross those feet if you happen to do it. Squeeze the thighs together just like you would in a strict push-up, and do it again. Very good. So that's bent knee. And that might be challenging for some of you, and don't worry, I can also modify it so we can start with push-ups on the wall. Let's go into the very traditional wide push-up. People love these, and I still see them done incorrectly. A lot of times it's because the lower back is sagging and because people are not going low enough. I want to challenge you, if you think you have this movement, to go a little bit further. How far should you go? It kind of depends on your body too, right? So you want your chest to hit the ground, but if you happen to have a bigger chest, then you want to go as low as you can while still maintaining tension in the body. I don't want you to come to the ground and then be totally relaxed and then come up. I want tension throughout the entire movement. So let me show you. Wide push-up, we simply go wider with the handstands, fingers still splayed nice and wide. Do you have to? No, you don't, but it makes your base bigger and stronger. You feel a lot more solid. Plus you get to activate those fingers. But if you want to have them side by side, that's fine by me. I'm going to go wide. I'm going to have my hands as wide as a sticky mat with my pinkies kind of just spilling over the mat. And then I'm going to go into my high plank position. From here, I'm going to take a big breath in, hold, squeeze my glutes, automatically engaging my core, holding it tight, belly button in towards the spine. Here we go. Again, this time I'll go even just a little bit lower so my chest touches the ground. And really press through. Now, I don't know if you can see the tension that's existing throughout my entire body, but it is not just about my chest. It is not just about my arms. I'm literally asking all of the muscles in my whole body to recruit, turn on, and help. This gives me a full body workout. One of my favorite variations on the push-up is the hand release push-up. The difference between a traditional push-up and the hand release is when you come to the very bottom of the push-up, you release your hands, you bring them up off the ground for a split second. That means your entire body is resting on the ground for a split second, and then you tighten everything back up, and then you push back up with that strong plank body, not letting that lower back sag at all. So let me show you what a hand release push-up should look like. Plank body, regular push-up. Now look, quick second off the ground. I rested for a second. Now I got to squeeze and push up. Now, in some ways, this is easier than the regular push-up, and in some ways, it's harder. In the way that it's easier is you get that split second of rest at the bottom, which is really cool. And the way that it's harder is you don't have momentum working with you at the very bottom. If you notice in the regular tricep push-up, when I start stitching them together, look, momentum. I'm not bouncing off the floor or anything. It's just that I have a little bit of momentum working with me at the bottom. But in the hand release push-up, I kind of have to start up from a dead stop, and that's hard. Exhale. But what a wonderful way to develop strength and to get my strict push-ups even better and even more reps. Let's move on to a single leg push-up. This is fun. This is just to shake things up and keep things interesting. It's a little more challenging. One foot is going to be off the ground. And so what we do is we go into high plank. In this case, I'll start with my left foot off the ground. It doesn't have to be very high, just like an inch or so. You can point your toes or you can flex your foot, whatever works for you. And you can do several on that side, and then you can switch, or you can alternate back and forth. So now I'll do the right. Little harder, kind of fun, slightly new challenge. And then one of my favorites that I don't do enough, but I just love doing them, are diamond push-ups. So the way that I have my hands on the ground is I literally create a diamond like this. Take this, put it on the ground, center of your mat, and then go into your plank position. Now, all rules apply. Tighten up the core, tuck the tailbone under, squeeze the glutes, take a big breath in. The elbows will go out. Here we go. One more. Wow, those are hard. I don't know if you can see the shaking, but I can certainly feel the shaking. The shaking are those stabilizer muscles waking up and becoming alive. I don't really train in that way, but because of all the other push-ups I do, I am able to get some reps in a diamond push-up because a lot of that work is transferable. And you'll notice that if you master all of these fundamental movements, you will find that other movements that you do are going to feel stronger and more solid. So I've shown you how to do a strict push-up and you've learned how to do a bent knee push-up. But what if you can't do either of those? I got you. We're going to focus on using the wall or any kind of space. Maybe there's a park ledge of some sort or a fence or something sturdy, something stable and ultimately safe that you can use where you're in an upright standing position. Let's just quickly go over where your hands should be in relation to your body when you're doing a wall push-up. Because your feet are not going to be right next to the wall and your hands are going to be right next to the wall the way that you are when you're on the floor, you have to take a step back, and that means your hands have to lower. That's how you're going to know if you've never done this before. Also, the way that you're going to know is you're going to feel your triceps glide against the sides of your body. Good. Remember to keep that plank body the entire time. Keep sucking this in. Keep squeezing the glutes a lot. All right, so watch that again. Exhale. Now what happens if I keep my hand, I forgot, and I just keep them high? It's gonna look like this. Look, I'm just really bending here. Even if I widen it out, I'm not gliding against the sides of my body. That's when you know. Okay, so we've got that down. Now with the wide, we have to kind of feel it out. And that's how you're gonna know also, feel this out. It'll start to feel right. You'll be like, oh, okay. I know that this is a wide push-up, and Kat said it's gonna focus more on chest. Where do I feel it? Okay, that feels pretty good. Let me just lower my hands a little bit and see what happens. Ah, I can feel that even more in my chest. And when I increase the depth and go as close to the wall as I can, I feel it even more. Listen to your body. Go slowly at first and pay attention.